Well, the weekend was here and then gone, as was the Black Ops Cold War open beta. And oh boy, do I have some thoughts on this one. We streamed some of the beta over the weekend and had a pretty good time. And also last year, we reviewed Modern Warfare 2019, and that video actually got a lot of traction and positive reception. So I definitely want to cover Cold War since, well, Black Ops 1, it's kind of a high point in my memory for Call of Duty games, as I know for many of you guys it is as well. Hopefully you got the chance to play some this weekend, and if you did, leave your thoughts down below. So let's get this out of the way. Cold War doesn't do a whole lot to move the needle in any direction. And that's both a good and bad thing depending on what type of player you are and what you want from Call of Duty in 2020. Cold War feels like a Treyarch COD. It is unmistakably made with the Treyarch engine. Now, with Modern Warfare 2019, Infinity Ward employed their Poland studio to rebuild the engine completely, dubbed IW 8.0. The engine was created within 5 years and featured substantial upgrades such as spectral rendering, volumetric lighting, and support for hardware-accelerated ray tracing for the PC version. Activision stated that the new engine is also shared across the board for all of the Call of Duty developers to use in future titles. However, Cold War doesn't use this engine. It instead uses a highly modified version of the Black Ops 3 engine. And this is a peculiar choice. The back-end upgrades and general visual feel of Modern Warfare 2019 was praised across the board, whereas with Cold War, well, it looks good in its own right. It has a bit of a dated and plastic feel to it. It's not bad, it's just not what I think a lot of players had expected. I'm guessing the truncated development cycle for Cold War was a main driving factor in the decision to use the Black Ops 3 engine. Along those same lines within the game, the gunplay feels unmistakably like older Treyarch games, and less like the new, overhauled gunplay of Modern Warfare 2019. It's hard to not feel like the ballistic systems, sound design, and general hit detection are a bit of a downgrade from the improvements Infinity Ward made in Modern Warfare 2019. However, I want to make one thing clear. The simplicity of the mechanics and the return to the old core combat loop and philosophies is pretty awesome for players who enjoy that. Map design. It's a return to form with more old school 3-lane designs back again. Modern Warfare's developers made maps that were honestly what I think, oh man, it held that game back the most, dude. They were too complicated, offered way too many sightlines, too many layers of height, and featured terrible flow in terms of converging areas and player traffic patterns. Cold War's main maps were simple, easy to navigate, and instantly felt like a return to the classic formula of old school COD map design. And this is appreciated. I love this, and honestly, it's a big reason why I look forward to Cold War after playing the beta this weekend. There's no wall running, no boosts, no double jumps, or other crazy movement tech. You have sprint and slide. That's about it. This return to simplicity in the mechanics makes for a satisfying combat loop that's easy to pick up and still has enough depth to allow for a decent amount of skill differentiation between players. If you're a fan of older COD games, then these factors are likely appealing to you. However, I can't help but wonder what things would have been like if we got to experience Cold War on the new IW 8.0 engine, but with these Treyarch map designs and this level of simplicity from a mechanical standpoint. That to me sounds like the perfect pairing. Where some of the Cold War animations feel dated and sound effects just feel like a downgrade. A combination of the best of both worlds I think could have been the secret sauce necessary to blow players away. And I mean, this is the follow-up to the fan favorite Black Ops 1, dude. It's kind of a big deal for the franchise. There's a new set of game modes called Combined Arms that take place on larger maps with vehicles and objective play that feels more akin to an arcade Battlefield experience. In the trailers for Cold War, this was used heavily to showcase the larger play spaces and higher player counts, and I won't lie, I wasn't that excited about it. To me, COD attempting to do Battlefield-light experiences has never really drawn me in that much. I was wrong about this, however, as I enjoyed Combined Arms maps and modes almost as much as the traditional 6v6 stuff. I did notice throughout all of my matches, however, some instances of extremely dodgy hit detection. Moments where you were clearly behind a wall or cover and were still getting pinged from shots sent a few network packets ago. Trading in fights also feels a bit like a gamble on who will come out on top. I didn't really experience this feeling in Modern Warfare 2019, but I did with Black Ops 4, leading to a speculative suspicion on my part that the network or netcode design of Cold War is likely sharing more with Black Ops 3 than IW 8.0's engine. And of course, skill-based matchmaking. We can't talk about Cold War without mentioning this. Skill-based matchmaking was an incredibly divisive topic during Modern Warfare 2019. And this time around, the discussion is only amplified more, with Scump, Hex, and many other prominent COD figures throwing their hat into the ring. Every single match of Cold War breaks up the lobby after the conclusion of the game to seemingly keep the SBMM train rolling, as the system continually is looking to find you a match with players of your skill level. The circle of stomp begins. What I mean by this, okay, the circle of stomp, it's a pattern I bet all of you have experienced if you play SBMM games, okay? You'll get a match where your team wins by a big margin, and then the system punishes you with 3 games of getting absolutely smashed by the sweaties. The game then recognizes the beatings and gives you another lobby where you absolutely crush the enemy team, followed by yet again another round or set of just absolutely ultra sweat-tastic rafflecopter stompages by the enemy team. It becomes rare to have consistent, tight matches, and rather, it feels like an all-or-nothing scenario. And if you're solo queuing, you'll get weighted with this crazy nonsense. It knows you're a strong player, so get ready for 4 super low randos to be placed on your team to balance it out. It's frustrating and honestly doesn't feel like they have ever reached solid tuning for SBMM in either MW 2019 and now with Cold War. Now, I am not against skill-based matchmaking. I just want the system to function better. And right now, with the overwhelming amount of discussion on the topic, I think it's pretty clear that there's plenty of evidence to show the system has flaws and doesn't deliver an optimal experience for the majority of the player base. I think a good ranked playlist will do wonders to reward competitive players and give them a place to really push their skills, while casual hoppers can be just that, casual. The SBMM debate is one we could devote an entire video to, so I'll just close with this here. I think some level of SBMM is good. The current tuning of SBMM in Modern Warfare 2019 and now in Cold War doesn't feel that good. It delivers an all-or-nothing scenario instead of delivering close matches with rewarding experiences that help a player feel like they're improving. In summary, here's what I really like about Cold War. Lots of the weapons feel viable, fun, and unique from one another. The deep level of attachments and customization for your kit is here. At the same time, there isn't a level of bloat that feels out of place. I really like what they've done with Create a Class. The time to kill feels pretty good for now, if they keep it that way. The maps feel like a return to form. Not all of them. I don't really like the bushes on Cartel, but in general, I really appreciate a return to classic 3-lane design, and I think players will too. It's a Treyarch COD, which means it will deliver rock-solid value with zombies in a single-player mode. I've always felt like Treyarch nails the sense of value in their titles, and I don't think Cold War will violate that. The new combined arms, bigger game modes are actually pretty fun and offer a nice change of pace to the traditional 6v6. Okay, so the things I don't like. It is impossible to not feel like the sound design, animations, ballistics system, and visual style of the game has taken a downgrade from Modern Warfare 2019. I also don't like party hopping. It's 2020, people don't want to do gnat gymnastics anymore. The party system is still the same way. If you've got a buddy with a restricted or moderate nat, you're going to have to do backflips to get everybody in the party. It's beyond frustrating to spend 20 minutes trying to figure out who's going to be the lead just so you can get your party together to play. Come on, put the party stuff on your dedicated servers. Also, skill-based matchmaking is going to be divisive, as well as the simplicity of this game. If you don't like the old school COD's movement or gunplay, Cold War may not be for you. Also, please stop breaking up lobbies after the match. I understand SBMM, that train needs to keep rolling, but it is impossible for friendships, rivalries, and communities to form this way. Let players run it back. Also, kill streak spam. Spy planes, spy planes, spy planes everywhere. it does seem like there's some tunage that needs to happen in the kill streak space. I have no idea how Cold War is supposed to integrate with Warzone, and this is still fairly unclear. Like, from an engine, gunplay, and overall design perspective, seems like a big unknown for this game, which is now just a month away from launch, right? At the end of the day, Call of Duty is ramen. No matter the flavor packet, it's just about the same experience. A tasty one, a comfort food, but Modern Warfare 2019 felt like a graduation from instant noodles to a proper ramen shop with pork, eggs, some garnishes, and more. Cold War, well, it's back to the ramen. It's improved in some ways, but make no mistake, it's an older feeling Call of Duty. It's amazing to me just how big a difference it makes playing a game versus just watching it. As from the trailers, Cold War looked much more similar to Modern Warfare 2019 Gunplay until playing it, until streaming the beta this weekend. You never really can get the full feel of a game without actually putting some time in and playing it. So if you can, man, try the game for yourself and make your own opinions about it. Black Ops 1 is a fan favorite, so I hope Cold War delivers an experience worthy of the franchise. Let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comments below. If you enjoyed, subscribe to the channel, follow me over on Twitter at BBKDragoon, and I will see you again very soon.